I think my favorite thing about Monster Hunter Rise so far, based on the new demo at least, is the fact that a weapon called the Hunting Horn, which basically makes you an RPG buff dork, a bard if you will, except for your instrument is also a hammer the size of a well-fed pony, but also, instead of looking like a horn, as the name might imply you should expect it to, it actually looks like a big bass guitar from a highly gimmick-driven heavy metal band, probably from the mid-80s, probably out of Virginia. Gwa! It's a gwa guitar, is basically it. And you get hit monsters with a big gwa guitar while buffing the rest of your team. I defy you to explain to me how you cannot have fun doing that. And that's right, metal dorks, it's 2021, this is a YouTube video about a Nintendo Switch video game, and I just linked it to Gwa, convincingly. I'll give you a moment to collect your blown mind pieces back into one cohesive thinky lump. Meanwhile, I'm Blunty, and I think that intro deserves a comment, a thumb, a sub, and / or a bell, don't you? If not, why not? Let me know in a comment. Bam, catch 22 visions. I am on goddamn fire. You can't stop me. Well, okay, that monster over there has a decent chance of stopping me because I'm not very good at this game yet. But whatever. So now you know what my favorite thing is. I'm going to tell you what my least favorite thing is about Monster Hunter Rise is. And it's how, when I tried playing online, the game took a big, wet bum vomit all over its own shoes and did this. Shirt menu. Nope, too late for that. Sorry team, I didn't mean to aggro him without you getting here. I'm having issues. You see, somehow Capcom's code monkeys, possibly enslaved to the bewilderingly stupid way in which Nintendo do their online stuff, missed the fact that online is, for at least a fair chunk of players out there, completely unplayably broken as performance is tanked by an unusually precisely regular stutter. This is not lag. This is not a performance power issue from the Switch. It's not the internet connection. It's not whether or not you've got your Switch on Wi-Fi or, like me, use an Ethernet adapter for stability and speed. It's got nothing to do with any of that. Some people have conjectured that it's something to do with DRM. Not entirely sure where they're pulling that one from. An arse, probably, but it's a guess that is being repeated out there. But the reasoning was, and it's reasonably sound reasoning, I suppose, if you don't know much, even on the exact same Switch, the exact same game install, the issue goes away completely if you just switch to a non-primary account on the Switch. So you just change your user account to a non-primary account on the Switch, and it doesn't happen anymore. How they got from that solving the issue to DRM being the problem is, well, anybody's guess, because that's not the real reason. See, the problem went away when people tried switching accounts is because, well, the non-primary account just also happened to have fewer friends on their friends list. Because that's the problem, believe it or not. In my case, I had the issue, as you've been seeing from this recorded stuff from today's live stream, and it persisted through every problem-solving step that I tried. Except it was instantly fixed once I cleared out several dozen friends from my friend. Well, I say instantly fixed. It took like an hour because I had a lot of friends on my friends list. But anyway, I cleared out a whole bunch, possibly hundreds, I don't know, people from my friends list. And to those of you I purged, I'm sorry, but frankly, most of the massive pile of friends I had on my Switch over time were from old live streams doing multiplayer of Mario Kart or Pokemon or Animal Crossing or whatever. I kept as many names as I recognized as stream regulars, but if you got nuked, it's nothing personal. I'll add you back in when it's appropriate and when we're doing multiplayer stuff next. Point is, somehow, having too many friends on your Switch friends list completely breaks online functionality and causes a bizarre, clockwork regular stutter in Monster Hunter World. I've never seen anything like this before. It's bizarre. But at least now you know how to fix it if you are seeing the problem too. So go ahead and start purging your friends list. They probably won't patch the demo, I don't know. Maybe they will. The demo's only around for like a month anyway. Hopefully they will fix the actual game when it releases in a couple of months, so you'd bloody well hope so. But yeah, As for the rest of this video, I'll wait on delivering my verdict on the game's demo until I've played a lot more, or until the real game comes out so I can look at it in more detail. But I will say I am enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it faster and more immediately than I have been any other monster game I've tried to play in the past. And for context on where I'm coming from on that, we'll fade out this video with the intro I made on this morning's live stream detailing my road to Monster Hunter Rise via Monster Hunter World and failing to get sucked in by my previous tries at this game and my many hundreds of hours in Dauntless, a free-to-play Monster Hunter-like game that is, well, it's quite a bit more streamlined than Monster Hunter is, but it's a similar kind of concept in every fight's a boss fight kind of thing. Anyway, I'll let me tell you about it. Thanks for watching. I am Bloody. We'll catch you next time. Very excited to play this. I've been dicking around in the Wyvern riding training quest, which puts you against a dummy mode monster, basically, that can almost never kill you. Testing out all the weapons, because I haven't played a Monster Hunter game since World first launched. I put in, I think, about 25-30 hours into World, begrudgingly. It took a long time to get rolling, and by the time it did get rolling, I just wasn't enjoying the mechanics of everything behind the hunt. The way the crafting worked, the way the gathering worked, and all the different little systems that seem like they come from 11 different games, which they probably did, and are slammed together in this game, and none of them worked together particularly smoothly, and it was all confusing and baffling. I just got annoyed with it. But then Dauntless came along, called it nearly quad digits worth of hours into Dauntless, which is a very Monster Hunter style game where you got various classes of weapons and armors, and you go hunting big monsters, and every fight's a boss fight, that kind of thing. And I got quite good at Dauntless, if I don't say so myself. I mean, I'm not, S-class world leader thing, but I could carry, which is incredibly rare for me in a video game. Being able to carry a team, I could do that. And I could do that with pretty much any weapon. I got to the end game, and then I got to the end game with a second weapon, and the third, fourth, sixth. How many? I think there's 7 or 8 weapons in that game? Whatever it is. I've top-tiered all the weapons. I've maxed out all the armor that there was. I maxed out all the weapons I was maining. Not every weapon there is, because there's different versions of each different weapon. But at least 2 or 3 versions of any given weapon I've got maxed, I'm telling you, I put in the time to Monster Hunter. So I don't know how well those skills will translate back to... Dauntless. I don't know how well those Dauntless skills will translate back to this, but I felt like I learned a lot about how to fight big monsters, looking for those windows, and not just sort of going ham and things like that, so... Hopefully, I'll be much better at this game than I was at Monster Hunter World, which I was not very good at. Like I said, I put in like 30 hours, and I got maybe a third of the way through the main quest line, I guess. I never went back for Iceborne, so... And I really want to like this game. I really do. And from what I've seen so far, I'm just dicking around the basic mechanics of it. I think I like it. It feels a lot more deliberate than Dauntless is as far as the battles go. And it's a lot less forgiving with the iframes. And I've come down to all the weapons on show here. I've come down to, I think, my first impression of which one I'm going to wind up maining will either be Sword and Shield, because it just has a wonderful mobility to it without giving up too much damage potential, or defense for that matter. It feels really well balanced, and it looks kind of stylish in animations. The other one is the Hunting Horn, which I tried once in World and went, this is bewildering. I can't deal with this. What the fuck is even happening? But it turns out in Monster Hunter Rise, they've kind of simplified the Hunting Horn. And for those who don't know, the Hunting Horn is kind of like a hammer, but it's a musical instrument, and you play songs to give buffs. Well, they've made that whole process a lot simpler in this. And it turns out its balance between mobility and damage output and style kind of suit me too. It feels a lot like the axe in Dauntless, as far as speed and mobility and commitment to animations and things like that goes. And I got quite good with the axe in Dauntless, so... Don't know which way I'm going to go. Going to try them both. Monster Hunter World was my first. Yeah, Monster Hunter World was my first Monster Hunter. Well, I tell a lie. I think the first Monster Hunter I ever played was the one that came out with the new 3DS. Because that was one of the games they were demoing with the C-Stick thing. I never owned it. I played it at a show floor on a demo stand with the 3DS stapled to the desk, you know? So I think that was the first time I actually played a Monster Hunter game. I was barely aware of the game series at all at that point. Played Monster Hunter World, of course, when that first came out. I gave Generations a go, which I think was originally a 3D game. Oh, it's a 3DS game, or a 2DS game maybe, I can't remember. Sorry, no, 3DS, DS? I think it was 3DS. But it got ported to the Switch, and that had a demo, so I tried that, and that was awful. It looked horrible, it ran horrible, the interface was horrible, the loading screens were horrible. This has none of that. This is much more inspired by World, but with some concessions to the older style stuff as well, apparently. I've been listening to a few Monster Hunter experts and long-time gamers talk about this game. See how it measures up against previous entries. I think it was Monster Hunter 4. Yeah, Monster Hunter Ultimate 4 or something, wasn't it? MHU 4, I think was the... Or it might have just been the plain 4. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know a ton about the series. Interesting, I've heard others talk about the series before. Held off on diving in. It's one of those games where when people dive in and they get hooked by it, they dive all the way in. Just like all the big, like JRPGs and stuff like that. Like if someone's a Final Fantasy fan, they are a Final Fantasy fan. As in the true meaning of fan, fanatic. It's a similar kind of thing with Monster Hunter. If someone digs Monster Hunter, they're neck deep in it. And if you bounce off it, you might bounce off forever. I've bounced off it a couple of times already. But I really want to give it a go, because I do like this every fight's a boss fight kind of thing. And I do love Dauntless, which is a very streamlined version of what this is. But yeah, of the 3 Monster Hunter games I've touched before, I think this one has the best chance for me. Anyway, shall we make a start? Shall we have a try? Shall we have a very first try of a very first hunt? Shall we turn my controller back on? Oops. I think I selected the quest there. Thought my controller powered down. Alright, slay a great Izuchi.